Hello. Hey, this is Happy Aquarius. We're beginning that today on January the 19th. And Aquarius, I like to think of, as lifting ourselves from any claustrophobia or any of the heaviness, the responsibility that comes through with Capricorn. And, I compare Aquarius to the cosmic social worker, the planetary citizen. It's our ability to understand ourselves as enlightened communal individuals, that we are our brother and sisters and others keepers, that we are here to know ourselves, to relish in our individuality, but the individuality is measured up against other people's individuality. And so, we have the Second Amendment. I may not want to own a gun, but I can certainly argue the rights for gun control or gun ownership, even though I personally may not want it. So it's about want them. So it's about the liberties that we have as people, as individuals within a communal setting. And if we're balancing between ego, individual liberties, and the community wins out. The public good wins out. And I'd even be willing to say that part of our crisis right now, our points as a nation, have to deal with coming back to what's public good, what's common good, what are the public areas that we share. And it's not enough to just spout off Aquarian utopian ideals without putting them into some form that everybody benefits, that everybody is equal on that level. And so part of the lesson we were supposed to learn in Capricorn was about individual and personal responsibility, the ability to show up, do our work, and be mature. And what happens in Aquarius is we take that maturity and we find our own conscience. We don't necessarily, we can still have the authority and the government and all of that, but those energies are there so to make sure that large problems are solved and things are spread as evenly as possible. Fairness does not mean necessarily that everything's equal. Let me repeat that. Fairness does not necessarily mean that everything's equal. It's not a zero-sum game. It is about the ability for us to show up and have similar, if not the same, opportunities. And where things are kind of challenged, at least right now, this week, is that we've got warrior Mars and, intractable, stubborn ass Taurus. And so that can get you caught up in arguing over what is valuable. And when it's dealing with unpredictable Uranus, there can be a challenge of, anger, frustration, just kind of things that just fire up. But if we use that same protective warrior energy for common ideals, looking at the Saturn Jupiter over in Aquarius, looking at the fact that we have these two social planets in a social air sign, the humanitarian energy, then as we get to this Leo full moon on the 28th, which has an excellent alignment between Jupiter and the Sun, we can start to see life from a larger perspective, with a larger lens, as it were. And in that, and as such, we can, sometimes, I think of Jupiter as, the Oprah planet, Jupiter, right, to combine the words. And so it's about paying it forward. It's about giving freely, giving from a detached perspective, not giving in order to receive or giving in order to control the giftee. You give because you have it like that. And this full moon, it'll be in Leo. So it's about balancing that collective participation of Aquarius with the individual effort and participation from Leo and the individual effort. So the homework up until the February 11th new moon, full moon in Aquarius, which begins the Chinese year of the oxen, is to, one, take should out of your vocabulary. There are no shoulds. There are could be's, there are possibilities, there are you never know. So we move from the idealist, which gets stuck in the shoulds, to the spiritualist, which is the could be's. And What are the possibilities of our expanding our spirits in order to grow together and healthily together? The other one, no, I try. Make best efforts, do. Because if you try, then there's a possibility, again, the could be's, that you're setting yourself up to make excuses or to procrastinate. And I'll tell you one thing that I know about living with a 5-planet Aquarius mofo. He don't like no excuses. Oh God, he don't like dumb people either, but he really don't like no excuses. So the Aquarian energy is about ownership, because if we eldered ourselves up, if we became the mature citizen, responsible citizen in Capricorn, honoring our reputation and our word as much as possible, then we join with other like-minded and like-hearted people in Aquarius going forward. And Neptune is still all over the place, making our karma, making our intensity kind of nuanced, and understand that the more that we spiritually check in with our souls, our innate motivations for evolution and growth from a position of objective study on our behavior, our effect on others, our impact on the planet, the more that we're able to integrate that aspect of healthy self-expression, healthy ego expression. And that's what this Aquarius full moon is about on the 28th, is bringing in healthy expression of our being mature social citizens. And then the new moon is on the 11th of February, and that's where we go into the year of the oxen. Well, you know what? I'm going to kind of let that be, we'll talk about that as we get closer to it, but suffice it to say that as I'm looking for the ability to pull this chart up, just going from the communication aspect of the rat in the Chinese system goes to the abyss. And the abyss has to deal with the darkness of the unreflected life, the ego divorced from the soul, and keeping a really good hold on the mind is important. As one Chinese philosophy says, that when you're in the abyss, it's best to educate others to keep a hold on your mind. So what do you know and what do you don't know? What do you want to learn? How can you educate yourself as well as educating others? And in this oxen energy that we'll get to on the 11th, I'll do some more research and just really fill it out a little bit more. But I just know that the Aquarius energy that we're dealing with right now is getting us to evolve into becoming planetary citizens, getting us to evolve to be able to listen to other people's truths and to desentimentalize. So stop the waxing nostalgic about delusional half-truths, whatever they may and may not be. Because the Neptunian energy, that's what runs us if we're not really honoring our true spirituality and the spirituality of others. We're all evolving, different paces, much like we have different cars and people drive different speeds. It's important to recognize that and realize that the more that we ground our warrior energy and protect what really matters, protecting what really matters while sharing what we can freely. This may be a recipe for us to be able to get it right this time. How about that? Happy Aquarius.
Oh.
Ashe too. Yeah.